How's it going?
Having played in the 2008 Olympics, what are the biggest takeaways from playing on the Redeem team, and how did it help your game following the Olympics?
Well, back when I was a kid, 1992, the Dream Team was everything. I pretty much took in them and really seeing Michael Jordan again winning it, and then playing into the summer. I thought it was just cool as a kid that you get summertime ball. And just to see them do what they did and have the shock around the world, it inspired me as a player and as a person. And that was a goal that I wanted to accomplish. So to actually take part in that, it showed me that of course you have to be realistic, but working towards that goal, putting everything into it, it could be possible. And just getting to see the greats up close, in particular Kobe, of course. He was the best player in the world at the time, and just to see his preparation and how he handled being the leader on that stage and just having a great time as a 24-year-old young man, it was great, and I think it inspired me to want to play that winning basketball to get to the top any way I could.
That's a pretty shiny ring you got there, but I didn't want to ask you about Miami just yet. Talk about Toronto. Remember how emotional it was, you coming back there after your days, but you scored a lot of points there, had a lot of great nights. How do you hope that people in the six, Toronto, remember you?
Just remembering those, it was more of a struggle, unfortunately. There were some good times, of course, the whole entire outlook, but just as a team and as an organization trying to figure out our way in the league. I always love that organization, the Tannenbaum family, for everything that they put into me, because they got behind me and said, this kid can be a franchise player. I hired Sam Mitchell as a coach, and he pushed me every day to believe in myself, to believe in my teammates, to believe in myself as a leader, and to kind of break that shell of being too quiet. I was kind of a reserved person, but they still got behind me nonetheless. And we played some spirited ball, and I knew, even back then, I knew, like, man, if people could see what I see and experience what I experience, it could be a whole different situation. It's just, it was a different league at that time, and trying to break through it was very, very, very difficult.
Question in-house.
Hey, Chris. Do you ever consider what your role was like in changing the game? When you look at the bigs nowadays, they stretch the floor, they defend multiple positions. What do you think your role was, and how instrumental were you in changing the game?
I never looked at it like that too much. I always was trying to get better and really just doing what the coaches asked of me, trying to be, it sounds great, but it wasn't very fun in saying, okay, change your game again. I can constantly have to change my game all the time. But, there's greatness in that. There was always a new place to learn to be a better basketball player. And I never really reached that peak, in my opinion. I saw it coming. I remember shooting 5 threes in a game for the first time and said, man, that was pretty easy. I've never been shy to shoot the ball. So I think, the way I look at it, I played my part in it. And it was just, I've been another player so lucky to be here and moving the game forward, and even when it morphs into something different and the young guys are having their way with it now, I just can see my part and, know that I'm the piece in one of the puzzles.
Next question in Globes, Gary Washburn.
Chris, not being able to finish the career at the time in the way you wanted, how tough was that to get over? And what is an honor like this? Does that make it a little bit easier, knowing that you're now here and your career is complete and obviously you're enshrined in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, it's definitely given me closure as a player. It was very tough not being able to play. I saw myself at least playing until this age, maybe having 1 or 2 more years left in me. I think Paul was saying earlier, he went out on his own terms, and I said, oh, that's, hey, ride the wave until you can. You know, it was tough. It was tough to get over. I identified totally with being a basketball player. That was my everyday thing, and I didn't even know how much time I was putting into the game until after it was gone. So I had to deal with that. It's pretty much like a loss because it is, and then go from that to going straight to the carpool, straight to being there for my family. And those are the things that really helped me kind of transition because there were so many things that needed to be done. So I fell right into that, and it was great for me. And, even though losing the game was tough, I think this definitely gives me closure. And it's just so amazing. I wanted to do more, and I'm still able to be with my heroes. And I didn't even get to finish what in my mind, but I'm able to put that to rest now and just enjoy celebrating being here.
Next question on Zoom.
Hey, Chris. Heading to Miami to team up with D-Wade and LeBron was a huge decision that worked out pretty well, as we all know. Can you talk about what the city of Miami means to you?
Oh, man, the city of Miami, those were great times playing ball. I mean, there were struggles as well, just like anything else, but just great times winning championships, playing at that elite level, but more so getting to know people in the community, taking part of that. Once you get to Miami, you see the spirit of it. Having so many people come to all the events, come to the games, have those generational meeting people that have passed their tickets down, saying, the multi-decade season ticket holders, meeting so many great families and just taking part in it. But more importantly, in the organization, it was a great time. And unfortunately, it came to an end quicker than I anticipated. But we have friends for life there. We always come back, and it's always a good feeling every single time. So I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for those years, and I just love that we have something great to talk about anytime I come back or anytime it's mentioned.
Another Zoom question.
Hey, Chris, can you just talk about, looking back on your career, about some of the matchups you had against Kobe, LeBron, and Allen Iverson in particular?
Well, they were all tough. That's for sure. They were all tough games, especially against Kobe. I had never experienced playing against a competitor like him. Allen Iverson, he was one of the first guys that I played in the league that you can't really believe how fast he is. There's some guys, okay, he's really big. Okay, he's really good and can handle the ball. Allen Iverson, just how good he was and his skill that he had and possessed. I'd never seen anything like it. And usually he wasn't the biggest dude on the court. But his heart and determination was incredible. And LeBron, the first time I saw LeBron play, it was in the summertime of 2001, 16. Back then he was the best player I had ever seen. And, just even me trying to be a recruit and trying to be the best player I can be. And I was pretty good where I was from, don't get me wrong, but seeing him play, he pretty much always set the tone for that class. But to watch him ascend to greatness, to actually do those things, they were calling them the chosen one and stuff like that, So to be able to deliver on those promises, actually be a great ball player, but more importantly, a great teammate. It's been great to call him a friend and a teammate and a co-champ.
We have one more on Zoom.
Chris, congratulations on your success in your tournament. You were part of one of the most famous calls in NBA history, called by one Mike Breen. I know you know what I'm talking about. When you grabbed the rebound, what gave you the foresight to find Ray Allen instead of back out to LeBron James at the point, because he was wide open?
Say that again? I'm sorry.
When you got the rebound,
Yeah.
and found Ray Allen backpedaling, what made you find him and not think to give it back to LeBron at the top of the key because the defense had collapsed on you?
Oh, well, if you look at the play, it was very quick, man. That would be fighting intuition. and then usually you probably lose that game if I'm thinking about that. It's just one of those moments you read and react as a player.
Right.
And, we don't want to question things that have worked. You know what I mean?
Got you.
Thank you, Chris.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys.